Video on.
Hello.
It's easy. Can you tell me your name and program, please?
My name is Debra Simpson, and I'm in the Medical Billing and Coding program.
How did you hear about UMA?
I actually came to graduation a year ago. My daughter was in the radiology tech program, and I came to her graduation. I found out at graduation that they actually had medical billing and coding. I'm a CMA by trade. I've been in the field for 20 years, and I was looking to branch out. That's the one thing in the office that I hadn't been able to do. So I got some information and a couple of, her graduation was the end of January, beginning of February, and by the 22nd of February I started.
Wow. And why did you choose to go into healthcare?
I've been in healthcare. I wanted to be in healthcare my whole life, and I chose medical assisting. In '89, I graduated as a CMA, and then I worked in the doctor's offices. I did referrals, I did appointments, I did back office things, a lot of procedures. I just never did any billing, and that's the one thing that I hadn't been able to do. So as I've gotten older, I thought maybe it would be a good idea to slow down a little bit, and billing and coding was my choice.
Was it hard to get back into school?
Actually, no. I went in with both feet. I was going through a rough time in life, and I didn't see any point in wasting any more time. And I knew that whatever I did, it needed to be big. It needed to be something that would make a huge impact and be changing my life afterwards. So I didn't have any problems getting back into school. I was very eager to come.
Oh, great. What did you like most about UMA?
When I think back about what I liked about UMA the most, it exceeded my expectations, really. I didn't just learn a new skill. I proved to myself that I was capable of doing much more than I thought and exceeding much more than I thought. And I learned a lot about me as a person and how I would handle things, because I'd been struggling in the workforce since coming to Florida, and I learned some of the mistakes that I was making. I had a little bit of a change of thought, like it just kind of jogged me off into a different direction in my thought process about different issues, different things that came up, and I really grew as a person, not just as a student. It was a wonderful experience.
Oh, great. How were the instructors?
I was very fortunate. I had wonderful instructors. I could not say enough. I had Denise Garcia. She was my 3000 instructor. We're still very close friends right now. She is wonderful. The epitome of someone who would actually go out of their way and do something that was not expected. She goes way above and beyond. I don't even know how. In fact, I wrote a letter on her behalf.
Oh, that's nice.
Because I felt like she really deserved what she got. A lot of people didn't do that. She could have come in every day, done the minimum, and not done anything. She set up externship programs with people that she knew in the field just so people could get experience, because our program didn't have externships. So, like I said, she's gone way above and beyond. I also had Miss Ann Parascari, who was my 2000 teacher. She was wonderful. She brought in copies, old copies. Of course, they blacked out the names, or for confidentiality purposes, but actually brought in real dictations so that we could learn coding. She went way above and beyond also. She would come in on her days off. She would come in or stay late to help tutor people that needed it. She was great. And then I had Jonna Floyd, who I'm not sure if she's still here, but she was my 1000 teacher. She did a really good job also, and in fact, she took some time with me. I was having a little bit of trouble with the 1030 series. We were doing understanding hospital billing, and I just wasn't getting it. And I had been straight A's up till then, and I started getting B's and C's, and while that's not a bad grade, it destroyed me. I cried, I was upset, I couldn't understand, I didn't know why I wasn't getting it. And she took me aside, and she actually gave me this wonderful pep talk about how you don't, she said, when I hire you, because that was my big thing back then, I have to get the grades because I don't have the experience. That's all I had to go by is my transcripts. I need to get these A's, I need to do this. She said, do you think I hire someone She said, I've been an office administrator, and I've been, she named all these, positions where she was actually hiring and firing people and in charge. She said do you think I actually look at the report cards? She said, I ask an easy question, something that people should know. I ask a mediocre question, and I ask a hard question, and I base my opinion based on how they answer those questions, not what their report card says. And she actually made me feel tons better about the whole thing as well. So, I mean, I had a wonderful experience with the instructors. I really did.
That's so cool. What was the hardest thing about UMA?
At first, I had a little bit of trouble adjusting to, after being in the field. A lot of people in the billing and coding have absolutely no medical background, and so they were learning terminology and they were learning different things. And I would blurt things out. I would answer questions, and eventually she'd have to tell me, everyone but Deb, don't answer this question. You can answer these questions, just not you. So it took me a little bit, and I think it was irritating to some of the kids in the class. So I had to learn how to go back and be the student, and even then, going back to that other question you asked me about the instructors, I told her I wanted to be a teacher at some point in time. I'd love to be an instructor. She said, why didn't you? Because I was actually giving the answers that she was going to give. So, yeah, that was a little bit difficult. Yeah, and I also had a personal problem during school. I had to take a leave of absence. Mm-hmm. My son is 14. He has epilepsy, and they weren't able to control it with medicine. So I had to leave to go to Indiana. They removed a good portion of his right temporal lobe of his brain. Wow. During the time I was going to school.
Goodness.
So I had to take a break in June until the end of June.
Did UMA help you, come back after that leave of absence and, get back into the program?
They really did. I didn't have any problems. Of course, I got a phone call afterwards to make sure that I was coming back, and then right before I was supposed to come back, I got another phone call. Are you coming? Oh, definitely. I can't wait to come back, mm-hmm. That kind of thing. And they did very good follow-up with that. They really did. I was quite impressed with that.
Good. Now, did you do an externship? I know it's probably not required for your program, but...
Billing and coding does not. Denise had set me up, along with another student, to go out and volunteer, for the extern kind of thing. And I was going on so many interviews at that time and going through, I had to actually back out. But it was available to me, and I could have done it. So.
Oh, okay. And what are your plans for the future and in healthcare?
My plans for the future are bright. I eventually want to own a medical billing and coding company. I want to put my expertise to work. Right now, I'm working at CareCentrix, and I'm doing somewhat. It's not necessarily billing and coding, but it is involving carve-outs for DME and for different companies like Centene and Cigna and Great West and those kind of companies. So I'm actually getting my foot in the door, just not actually doing the filling out of the claim form. So I'm very happy with that, and looking forward to building on that.
Okay, and one last question: if you had to give any advice to future students at UMA, what would you say?
There's a lot of negative out there. You can read it on the internet. You can do whatever. That's the thing about internet. It can be great. It can be very malicious, and they don't really regulate. So if someone's upset, they had a bad experience, they're going to be more apt to say something about that than they would be about something positive. You get out of your education exactly what you put into it. Be your own advocate. If something's not working right for you, there are avenues, there are people you can talk to, different outlets people can go to make these things happen, and make it your own experience, because this is life changing. This is an investment in your future. This is an investment in your life. It's not cheap, but it's definitely worthwhile. It's definitely worthwhile.
Great.